mythology is able to produce it. And so talking about the meaning of this eter, this substance, it comes from Northern Germanic languages. We see it often in Old Norse languages. And the word is broadly translated as poisonous, evil, bad, angry, or sinister. And it's very common in Scandinavian folklore for it to be a synonym for snake venom. And so to me, when I see something like this in mythology, it is, as it being now translated as something poisonous or evil, I take a pause and I wonder if a being or a thing, let's say, becomes able to produce life or regenerate itself. It's seen as something very powerful and potent. And so then it kind of, you skip into your mind of the likelihood, then it's as equally likely to be able to take that away. And so that can sometimes have these feelings of fear, anger, or this idea that then is evil if it takes something away when we don't want that to happen. But there's always, reasons for the greater whole of why that happens, and that we don't always have to attach that something is evil because it didn't work out in the way that we wanted it to, or that it's bad, I guess is a little bit less strong word. And so then thinking and taking that one step further, thinking about the venom as being the potential for awakening. It's an awakener. And if we think about sort of the medicine that's possessed in the rose, that, one cannot work with the rose without also working with the thorns. And so in how we navigate the thorn, we then can come to know sort of the fragrance and the beauty of the rose. And I think often when we're thinking of something that's venomous or that's deadly or dangerous, we have to respect it. And oftentimes these things are put in place to protect the beauty of things. And so as the thorn sort of deters this easy access and the destruction of beauty, it's there to create balance in a way. And, a lot of what's coming through right now for this full moon in Libra it's all about balance and how we are rebalancing ourselves. So this seems very potent. And then I wanted to take that one step further as well, this idea or belief that liquids hold memory and can be programmed by how we interact with them. And this is possibly best known and documented by Dr. Emoto. He was a Japanese author and pseudoscientist who said that human consciousness has an effect on molecular structures in water. So his theories evolved over the years, and his hypotheses that water could react to positive thoughts and words, and that polluted water could even be cleaned up through positive visualization. And so he's unfortunately passed away now, but since 1999, he's written several volumes. So if you're interested in any of his books, they're entitled Messages from Water. And there's a lot of photography in them of photos of ice crystals and then accompanying experiments of how that all works and his theories. And so he was most famous for saying that water was a blueprint for our reality, and the emotional energies and vibrations could change the physical structure of water itself. So taking this concept and applying it to, beer or wine or tequila or any of these things, most of these products are anywhere from 85 to 95% water. So most of what they are is water. So if we're reacting with them in a positive ways, they also reflect their surroundings and the energies of their surroundings as well. And then when we're ingesting them, how we are sort of engaging and reacting with them too will could potentially, based off of Dr. Emoto's theory, also change sort of the relative structures within ourselves as well. And then talking about Mesoamerican cultures, so taking it back to the agave plant. So as I stated earlier, there was a goddess that was associated with representing the body of the agave, and she was known by the name of the woman with 400 breasts. So again, that sort of alluding her fertility. And each of these breasts was talked about as, and the need for so many is that there were 400 different gods of pulque that nursed from her. So as a personification of this maguey plant, Mojal is also part of a complex, interrelated maternal and fraternal goddess in Aztec religion. So she was a very important goddess in their religious rites. And she's also connected with these notions of kundalini and nourishment. So we could all use, I think, some nourishment right now. And then she's, from visualization, she's often depicted in white and the color of this milky sap, which is the agave nectar that they would have used to make the pulque. I think, reading some of the stories of Mojal, it's always interesting to me how there's so many threads and relatability to some of these myths. So her myth is very similar to the tale of Persephone in that they were both abducted, but it was Persephone's mother, Demeter, who, freaked out, and she went on a rage and made the earth sort of desolate because she didn't want to allow anything to be produced. In this case, Mojal, it was her grandmother, and she goes out searching for her because she was enraged that she could not find her and that she was lost. And so once she finds her, it was quite easy to find her. Apparently, she was part of this pronged tree. And once she found her, she was so angry that she ripped off some of her body parts and fed them to these angry gods in the sky. And once they left, her abductor took the parts of her body that were left and he buried them in the ground. And what grew out of that was the maguey plant. And then there's also this other story of where she's a farmer's wife and she's collecting the sap of the plant to make pulque. And when she goes in one of the days to come to extract the sap, she notices that it was polluted. And so being kind of perplexed by this, she stays up late at night to spy on what's happening. And she finds that it's her husband who's interfering in her work by drinking the sap and becoming so intoxicated that he's drooling and thus polluting the sap of the agave plant. So she knows that he doesn't like, chili peppers or coriander. So she adds that into the sap to protect the plant, and so she can continue on with her work. And it does indeed deter him from interfering and consuming too much. And so I think, again, these lessons are about returning to balance and listening to the earth and listening to ourselves in this time, and not interfering with our own natural cycles and the natural cycles of nature. We cannot conquer these things. There's a reason why there's ebbs and flows, and there's a reason why, the moon spins around the earth and keeps pace, keeps life going. And so our vibration and our interconnectedness and all of this matters. We are really part of the web. So I think I've said everything that I wanted to say and share, and I thank you all for listening. This one was a bit longer than normal. There was a lot more to share. So I will, if there was any references that I used, I will put those in the notes of the podcast. So if you want to dive a bit deeper, you can. And as always, thank you for listening. Let me know as what you think. Okay, talk to you all soon. Thank you.